Um, Hello. So, podcast. Hello. Yeah, this is a podcast. What is? Never mind. Fuck it. This is a podcast for where we're gonna talk about the raising of Titans into the spirit sky with Neil Greenbaum or whatever the fuck his name was, the guy that did that song. Something, spirits in the sky, from Remember the Titans, and then that kind of combines with Attack on Titans at the same time, and it's because Titans are not, they don't have skin, do you remember? You don't see their skin, it's always what's underneath that counts, and that is the important thing to remember, and we have to thank Coach Boone and the other coach guy. Not a preference thing, but more like a boon is something that reminds us of the boonies. Something that, if you remember running through the forest of Gettysburg, we're getting to the battlefield of Gettysburg. And that's where we get to the really important part, where we're at the North versus the South. And when we go back to the 1800s, North versus South was like just such a common thing. And people are still that way these days. Left and right, that's just the surface. North and South is the real battle that's being fought. It's the Union versus the Confederates, so you have to choose a side. Are you blue or are you gray? And then is the blue wearing gray powder or is the gray wearing blue powder? And what is blue powder? Oh. However, that's just kind of one of those things. It seems like it matches up, but it doesn't, just in all honesty. And then what we do is we'll look up. Then I don't know if my favorite. Put this back. And then I don't know if my favorite piece was used yet. Oh, it was the door, right? And then the door piece of the puzzle. That is where when you open the door and step inside your hearts, you know, that's kind of a special message from the Tyler Durden that is within all of us and was written by a very, very cool ISTP. And it was actually written, I think pre-1200s. It might have been written back in CCDXMXC, and that's where you're kind of on that mountain. And I remember, you know, you have that, I want to say from that top level view, you got the sword, and then when you have the sword, you lead the charge, and then you lead it down the mountain, and it's kind of like a bunch of boulders, and it's just like, holy shit, where are we going? Where are we going? There's too much smoke. There's so much smoke in this room. It's like smoke and mirrors. It's just like, stop talking at the same time I'm talking, and that's kind of one of those things that happen. No, like not really, but like I'm talking to myself, like as like a mirrored type of effect. And so that's one of the things I would like to add to this is that when you flip it back toward the north-south kind of thing, it's like you're looking at the same thing. And it's just, why are the views different? So when you look at it from the views, you think of it in more of a cosmic essence type of way. And when the cosmic essence type of way is up in the air, then it's just kind of like, well, let's see what we can get away with at the lower level. And that's the stanzas. Those are the stanzas that you look for as kind of like a slower human being. And so when you really think about the dude, the train of thought, like this is like one of the toughest trains that I've ever had to clear up, and kind of like it's like a scary thing, but then you keep going and then you just destroy the junction boxes, and these junction boxes, yellow and red, are connected downward, okay, and then it connects all the way to the back, and then you're just like, what are those numbers? So then when you finally realize the truth that the door is actually open to your heart, and then we went full swing back around. So then think about it, east, west, north, south. I guess someone was trying to chill out on the compass of the land. And so when you think about it, in terms of witches and Wiccans and wizards and warlocks. And when you think about it in terms of, the really cool werewolves, lycans, and vampires, it was like they were born in biblical times. Jesus could have been a vampire. Who knows? Drink my blood. You know what I mean? And as soon as you drink the blood, it just doesn't go away, and then you make it up with wine, and then it's just kind of like, shit, is that wine or blood? And then you're just like, this is a heavy subject. So then when you raise it back up, you think about that River Jordan. And the River Jordan was a place that had a bunch of subsistence and travesties of a plank, more planks on the galleons. And that could probably never travel down that river, but you could probably be on the outskirts of the ocean. So you can see exactly where that travels, but then when you just pull it all the way back, kind of like a red string tied between Conan the Barbarian and some other dude. So when you get that, the information is it's so much more technical. You know what I mean? It's much more technical. It's much more advanced. It's much more just make whatever sound. It's a cool podcast, whatever, dude. It's just whatever. And then actually, I would love to keep this sweet and short. So just go up and then think about the buildings that are on wallpapers that you've seen. So many skyscrapers and antennas with the red lights on top. You know what I mean? So then that's kind of a freaky-ish type of thing, depending on the time of day or the time of night. So you take that left, and then you spin around twice, and you're just like, oh my god, click, 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 I went home. But then, it's either reverse or don't. I built it myself. And so don't fuck with me. Alright, I love you guys. And have a wonderful day and evening, and you guys are awesome. Alright, all of you are awesome. And I don't know, dude. Trust me, I'm still figuring it out. Okay, and have a great one. Christmas.